What's up, everybody? I'm Dallas Owens here with Global Fight Talk, talking to my man David Alaverdian. He is a 29-year-old, 8-0-1 rising star in boxing right now. How are you doing today, David?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming very much. So when we spoke a while back, you said we were fighting between 108 pounds and 118 pounds.
115, 115.
115 is where you settled on now.
For
Okay.
now, no, I want to go down to 108. I think it's gonna be much easier to be the top 10 over there than it is on 115. Plus, it's not such a hard cut for me, so I can definitely do it.
Okay, all right. So 108 pounds, that's light flyweight, I believe, or whatever.
Yep.
So you're 8-0-1, 7 KOs for anybody who's curious. But you're also 29 years old. So are you trying to go slow and steady wins the race, or are you trying to fast track yourself, get everything done as fast as you possibly can?
Yeah, I want to do this quick as possible. Just because obviously my age, I'm gonna be 30 real soon. And I just don't see a reason to just drag it out. I either have it or I don't. So
That's fair.
I
That's
get the
fair.
tough ones.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so you got some good trainers anyway. So you trained with Cedric Ferguson and Floyd Sr.
Sure.
What's training with Floyd Sr. like?
It's pretty awesome. When well, at the beginning it's a shocking experience. After all, it's Floyd Senior, but then after a while, you kind of forget about it. And you just train to train. Yeah, you gotta realize sometimes the guy who is in front of you. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, and then speaking of training, so you're from Israel, and I know that's a mandatory military service in Israel, right? Is there
Yes.
is there anything you'd say you like took from the military and applied like to your boxing career?
No, I don't think so. Nothing to the boxing career. The only thing I would say, it kind of makes you more of a man, just because it kind of takes you out of you're under your parents, and then you
Mhm.
have your commander who you have to listen to, and it doesn't matter if you feel bad that day, or you have some kind of excuse. You can't just call your mom. Hey, mom, can you call my commander and tell him I'm not gonna go to school? You
Yeah.
know, he doesn't give a shit.
I'm sure that's very true. So, and then speaking of Israel, you said you were going to go home for a little while pretty soon, and
Right,
then you were going to take part in the European Championship tournament. You want to
right.
tell me about that a little bit?
Well, it's gonna be the European Games, which is like the
Okay.
Olympics just for Europe.
Hmm.
Um, I've done it before. Last year, I did the Euros. Um, I won my first fight, and then the fight for the medal, I lost a split decision to Ukraine, which
Oh
in the
man.
fight I did not lose. We all know there's war at the moment, and now they get gifts from all over the world. They won the Eurovision and all that crap, just because the hard situation they're at the moment. But it shouldn't reflect on sports, so it kind of broke my heart. I the first thing I done after that loss, I went on my social media and I said I'm never going back to the amateur because the shit is so corrupt. It's so bad that I'm never gonna do it again. But here we go again. Same
Doing it
routines,
again, huh?
doing it again.
All right, all right. So how many fights roughly do you have during that tournament?
It all depends. If you win, you can have up to 5 fights until you get the gold medal. If you don't win, you can get fly back home after your first fight. So
Okay.
it depends how it's gonna go. Hopefully, it's gonna be more fair. Even though I know the amateur is so corrupt, man. It's just horrible. If you don't represent one of the bigger countries, like England, United States, Russia, maybe even Ukraine, the bigger countries, the ones with a lot of boxers, the judges don't give a shit about you. Especially Israel. Like, no, who cares about Israel? Did you ever see an Israeli boxer? I didn't.
I've never seen them before, except for
Exactly.
you. And then speaking of seeing an Israeli boxer, the first time I saw you, it was a post you made, I think, on social media, where it was like I want to say it was like a clip from your amateurs, coinciding with a clip from your professional career, where you did like a shoe shine, like 50 hooks in a row kind of situation and
Right.
finished the guy out. Where did you that just come out of nowhere for you? Did you invent it yourself? Is that emulating somebody or anything? Or
No, that kind of came out of nowhere. I honestly I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I had it on my computer for ages. I just
Uh,
never posted it. And then I said, okay, I just hit 10,000 followers at that time. I said, I think it's about time. But I never expected that to blow that much. You know, it was everywhere. Obviously, a
yeah,
lot of groups and a lot of pages didn't even tag me. So nobody really knows that it's me. It doesn't even look that much like
yeah.
me. I didn't have no beard. I was like a kid. So different times, but it blew up definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just surely somebody will recognize you. But yeah, it's kind of lame that it's just, hey, look at this guy. Not telling you who the guy is, but look at him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then speaking of social media, in the like the age of boxing, I mean, social media is obviously pretty important for any like public figure, any sort of like athlete and everything. Does that come easier for you, or is that something more difficult? Like, how do you rank that among the things you have to do to become a big boxer in today's landscape or whatever?
Right. I put a lot of effort into my Instagram and my social media at the moment. Uh, I never used to do it before until I came to Vegas. It was like 2 years ago, even less than 2 years ago. I spoke with my friend Nathan Levius, who is a UFC fighter, and he
Okay.
told me, "Man, you gotta focus on your social media because you can be the best boxer, but if nobody knows you, you're not ever gonna fight anybody. Nobody's even gonna care. If you don't care about yourself, nobody's gonna care about you." So after that, I started like kind of putting more effort into it. I started looking at YouTube videos, how to edit videos, and all that stuff. So now I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like you're getting pretty good at it. If any
Thank
these
you.
days, much better than myself. I'm not. It doesn't come natural to me. I'm an old man at heart and almost in age or whatever. But aside from all that, I'll start talking about myself. Who's your favorite fighter these days? Who's like fighting right now?
I'd say Terence Crawford. I love his style. I love the way he switches. I love his boxing IQ. And obviously, he got power and he's got some pop to his punch, which is awesome.
Hmm.
I really like Lomachenko. I honestly thought David Haney's gonna beat him up pretty easily, but I was wrong. I really thought he did win this fight. I watched the fight twice. I watched it live, and then I watched it on the ESPN. So and I scored the both fights, 115, 113. Or even the first time when I watched it live, I could see 8 rounds to 4. But now after watching again, I definitely see a 15-13.
Oh wow! So you had two completely different points of view for the same fight, and we still got similar
Yeah.
scores. That's right about where I had it as well. Not that anybody actually cares. But speaking of favorite, like you said, Crawford. So I mean, huge news, of course. A couple months from now, we got Spence and Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Who do you have in that fight, and why?
I I just can't go against Crawford. He's one of my favorite fighters. Um, I think he's just so smart. He's an actual badass. You know, he's actually badass. I like him as a fighter. I like the way that he's a family man. I like a lot of things about him, so I kind of cheer for him. So I'll be biased regardless. I just think, anyway, I think he's better. The only thing I see in Spence over Bud is his size, and he probably can walk everybody down. But I just don't think if he can't walk down Terence Crawford, I just don't see him winning this fight.
That's fair. That's fair. I'd say I probably agree on most of those fronts as well. Uh, Goodness gracious. So, we got some more fights coming up. Not in 2 months, but actually here very soon is in this Saturday, April or no, sorry, June 10th or whatever. So one of the ones that's on my list, we got Teofimo Lopez and Josh Taylor in New York, 140 pounds for one title. I don't remember which title, but Taylor has it. Teofimo wants it. Who do you have for that fight?
Don't Taylor have all the belts?
He used to be undisputed, and after the Catterall fight, he's been slowly dropping off belts one at a time just for sanctioning body reasons that I'm not aware of. I believe what he has now is the WBA. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, it's just one belt for this fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought he has all the belts. Oh, makes sense. Um, Honestly, I think Josh Taylor takes it for a few reasons. One, he's a full-fledged 140 pounder. He has skill. He's a softball. He has decent power. Um, that's one. and then I just don't know what state Teofimo is in. He's still young. He's going through a divorce because his wife cheated. You know, he always fucks up any man. So she's gonna take probably half of what he has. I don't know what kind of state how can you train when you're in a state like this? But that's number one. Two, he's young, so he probably has all the other shit that's going on for him, and he's very emotional. We could see in other fights that he's been at. Um, I don't see him winning a guy who's was undisputed, older, and somebody who fought at 140 for most of his career. So I just don't see him winning.
Okay, yeah, I pretty much agree with that as well. I figure anybody who can at least come close or beat Regis Prograis can probably go through Lopez. That's just my opinion, though. Absolutely. And then we got Jaime Munguia and Sergey Derevchenko. Do you pay attention to those guys? You got anybody for that one?
I watched Sergey a lot. Still when he was fighting in the amateurs. Well, they were having the WSB, which is like half amateur, half professional 5 rounders, and he was representing the Kazakhstan team at that time, and he was beating a lot of people. So I think it's really good. But now I think he's at the end of his career. He's starting to get as much money as he can before he retires. So I don't know. If you asked me that question maybe like 3 years ago, I would say I'll go for Derevchenko. But now, honestly, I don't know.
That's fair as well. You keep taking all my responses to the same question, but that's fine. I appreciate the breakdown there or whatever. And then we got somebody very close in your weight class. We got Sonny Edwards versus Andres Campos. What do you got think about that one?
That's a good fight. It's I'm gonna change location because my AC is so loud.
Okay.
Sonny Sunshine Edwards. I think he's gonna take it. I think he's gonna make it pretty easy. I've sparred Campos. I'm not gonna say about how the sparring went, but I love their team. I think he's good, but I don't see Edwards losing this fight, especially because he's very good in the back foot. And when people pressure him, we've seen more than once that he's better at boxing when people are just pushing on him. So I don't see Campos winning him, and he can box from distance because he's shorter and smaller, has the shorter reach as well. So I don't see there's any chance for Campos to win.
Okay, all right. And then Back to the Future, we got Naoya Inoue versus Stephen Fulton. Do you have a pick for that one?
I'll give you my honest opinion. I think Fulton is gonna win this fight, but they're not gonna give it to him because it's in Japan. They're either gonna give him a draw or they're gonna rob him. That's what I think.
That's fair. That's a fair answer. Okay, awesome. Once again, this was Dallas Owens with Global Fight Talk here with David Alaverdian. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Loved your answers. I would love to talk to you again sometime soon.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah.